Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Speed Gaming 6, hosting the Zelda 1 Randomizer tournament. We are here for the second round, a matchup, the third game between F. Coughlin, Bogey Smalls, Potato Pony, and Sis Crusher. I am the Limit Break, and I am joined by Threech. And Threech, we have got a fabulous race for these viewers today, don't we?
I could not be more excited, Limit. I am so pumped to bring this show to Speed Gaming 6 and to be watching this race between these four excellent runners who have really had quite a show so far. We are going to have, I think, a competitive and compelling race tonight. So everyone, get ready, get some hype emotes out there once this race is ready to start, because we are going to see, I think, something that's really going to blow us all away.
This is game 3. Bogey and Fred are both tied right now at 7 points each. And of course, the top two racers from this, if I'm correct, are going to move forward in the rankings. Is that right?
I believe you are correct. So more points will be distributed according to the winners of tonight's race. So we're going to see how that plays out. And we're starting along the South Shore. So not sure how much of an advantage that is for the runners, but it gets you a little bit of placement and a few bomb spots that you can check right off the bat. Also some spots along the coast. You'll be able to identify what the coast item is as soon as you get the ladder. So it's not a bad place to start from information, but maybe not as central as you'd like.
Old whiz robes as well. That's not fun for overworld content, but maybe a good sign for the dungeons, that they'd be less likely involved in the dungeons. Ooh, as Bogey takes an early death.
Based on what we've seen from the combat of the whiz robes in some of these dungeons, I would almost take them on the overworld. It was very painful when you get locked into a tight space with the whiz robes. We did see the any key was the coast item, so ladder not necessarily required, but what we do know from these flags is that there is a forced overworld block, and we're going to see 125 for our large secret, which is fantastic. With the first quest overworld, we're going to have 3 of those available to our runners. All right, a little bit of a video delay here, but we are going to get back up and running shortly. All right, seeing a little bit of movement there. So we are in good shape. We're getting a little bit more of this overworld exploration here as our runners already kind of start to diverge. We see Potato Pony heading over to the west side of Lake Hylia. We're checking out some of these Armos spots. You definitely want to identify, what kind of items you're able to get off the bat that are free, more or less free on the overworld. We're also going to be looking for our sword in a cave on the overworld as well. So we'll see what we can find. We get some, I think that's a 5 and a 4, 54 for the bait. Either that or it's an 84. Can't really tell on my screen.
Yeah, I believe that was a 54. It is dangerous to go alone, as we have all heard many times, and so the sword is a fantastic first thing to find. And they're going to be looking primarily in the open caves for that, because with this flag set, the wood sword will not be under any bushes or any bomb walls. It'll be either under an Armos or in an open cave. So runners are going to prioritize those spots early. I mean, yeah, all 4 of these racers very good. So, I mean, I don't know if there's any kind of strategic advantage to checking some caves over the others. If when the people you're with are just as strong as you, it's more about luck than it is anything else finding this wood sword.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. You're always expecting that they're going to do something that you haven't done, but you're hoping that they won't do something that you have done. So it's sort of a mental game as much as it is a game of skill and just navigating it effectively. This overworld is being merciless to these runners so far. We've seen, I think, 3 or 4 deaths on screen already.
Yeah, Fred took an any road and immediately was greeted by Wizrobe magic to the face.
You know, we have seen some large shield purchases over the course of this tournament, so it's very possible with those Overworld Wizard Robes that we could see, especially with 125 for our large secrets, a purchase of one or more of those shields. Nary a bomb pack to be found so far. Not super surprising. We can't really kill anything yet. I think we saw the blue candle for purchase at 64 rupees earlier. So if someone is able to make it to a shop with the large secret, they should be able to buy that candle as Fred locates level 3.
And Fred opting. Fred opting.
Gibdo's camouflaged. Sorry.
That's all right. I was just mentioning that Fred is doing what I used to call in the old days doing a dumb, which is entering in a dungeon with absolutely no weapons, just in the hopes that maybe you find some free keys or something on the floor, or an early item. But opts to leave that level 3 in the Vanilla Wood Sword Cave.
Yep. And right above that, we're going to find the blue candle pickup for Fred. So good spot right there for that to be. We're sort of near Candle Row. There's certainly plenty on the overworld to continue exploring. And we know that since it's level 3, there aren't going to be any items on the floor, but like you mentioned, a key or a bomb pack or something out in the open would be most welcome, especially early on here.
Oh yeah, and you never know if you run into a staircase or something super early. Randomizer, as much as the game knows how to troll you and knows in advance the seeds know exactly how to hurt you, every once in a while they give you a present.
It's true. It's very true. So Bogey buys the candle, the blue candle. I think we're going to see the same from Sis Crusher down here in the bottom left as well. Potato Pony already up on Death Mountain doing some exploration to find the Armos item. We're looking for it at least.
Potato Pony headed toward the graveyard. Level 6 and the grave we have not seen. Those are two open caves. Another one that's a popular choice for me when I'm racing against players who are much better than me is I like to check out the medicine shop next to Spectacle Rock. A nice early sword there. Usually a cave not frequented early, as level 7 is found inside vanilla level 6.
There it is, and Fred's found level 2 on his side and is able to pirouette to open the bomb wall opposite the side where he entered. So it's possible we may be able to find an item here. And he's got one shot of damage, which is not going to be enough to take down those mold worms, but it's a good effort.
And Bogey found level 9, one screen west of the gambling tree, vanilla gambling tree.
All right, and level 1, right at that bomb spot east of the blue candle shop. Oh, and sorry, Sis Crusher already having found level 1. We're seeing a little bit of progress there. Both these runners able to get some bombs. Potato Pony making a little bit of progress through the graveyard as well. Won't be able to do a world wrap just for lack of ladder, but we'll be able to see a little bit over here.
I think Potato Pony and potentially Fred are kind of in the same boat here. Might be checking this very bottom left screen. There's an open cave down there, which also is a nice early place to check for swords if you're running some kind of a gambit.
Yep, and you can see almost cross corners. The runners on opposite corners are in almost exactly the same place as Sis Crusher finds the wood sword, and Bogey at the same time finds the wood sword up at Vanilla First Quest level 5. So that's, I feel like, and I'm not sure how you feel about this, Limit, but when I've played Z1R, every once in a blue moon, if something has burned me before, and not the candle or the wand with the book, but if something has burned me, I am going to check that spot next time, because I don't want that to be a reason why I haven't found something. And I think we're seeing a little bit of that here on all 4 sides.
It's definitely true. In my case, the stubbornness will oftentimes lead to multiple deaths in a row, depending on your overworld situation. But But yes, definitely definitely a normal thing to go do. How quickly do you like to start delving through dungeons once you find a sword? Are you the sort of player that does a lot of overworld looking continuously, or do you say, "Got it, I got my sword. Let's go to 1. Maybe we can find something dope right away"?
I am absolutely overworld as much as possible and then start to find dungeons or start to go through dungeons. I like to find them and identify where they are before I actually start to traverse them. Normally just because I'm not great at combat, so I have to go and find as many protective and offensive things as I can. But every once in a while, I'll strike it lucky. I'll find the red ring early and we'll be good.
One of the great things about this tournament through the whole thing has been seeing the different strategies of the different racers. Ooh, $8 bombs. Yes, please.
Woohoo.
But yeah, seeing the different strategies of the different racers and how they approach everything. It's very cool to see routes diverge and just see how people's approach to the game is different mentally.
Yeah. And I'm seeing the Potato Pony has picked up the raft at some point, and I feel like that may have been from the Armos spot that was 2 screens east of Vanilla Level 6. We're going to confirm that on Fred's side. Yep, that's a raft pickup at the Armos spot. So missed that one earlier, but Potato Pony goes up and checks Vanilla Level 4, which is guarded by a bunch of blue Wizrobes. Not the best situation to be in, but I don't think we found anything up there that is really notable. This is, in fact, a Wendy's.
Bogey finds the magical sword, which will take anywhere from 10 to 14 container hearts in order to be able to lift. There's also that white sword spot, which could be requires anywhere from 4 to 6 container hearts to lift. Although that white sword spot may not be the white sword. It is included in the shuffle.
Yep, absolutely. We've noted from previous tournament races and still running Street today, there is not heart shuffle on, but the coast heart will be shuffled in as well to our item selection. And Sis Crusher picks up the triforce out of 8. That is a nasty looking 8.
Yeah, double segmented and a lot of rooms. 8, 7, and 6 are notorious for being very large. At least 8 has 2 potential trophies inside, besides the triforce, obviously. But looks like Sis Crusher is opting to continue to walk around, see what he can see, and come back later if he needs.
So we got 3 players with the raft already. Sis Crusher will eventually, I'm sure, find that Armos spot as well. And definitely, we want to make those checks early, I think, once you get those transport items, because you know that there will be an overworld block. So not a bad call to check those, but I don't think we've seen the eastern raft spot quite yet. Ooh.
Yeah, you saw what I saw. Sis Crusher finds the bow as the white sword item just north of Vanilla Level 1. Unfortunately, not able to lift at this point, but an excellent item to come across early.
Yep, that is very good knowledge to have, especially, everyone is kind of hoping you're finding the silvers early. We know that Ganon is required in these flags, and so we're going to need the bow and the silvers to take him down, but bow, definitely good knowledge to have. So we've got our 3 overworld items accounted for. I like that the blue ring just gives you like a 3 rupee discount just to make you feel a little bit better, but it's still basically the same price. To answer a question in the chat, other than 8, any other levels found? Yes, we have identified levels 1, 2, 3, 5, I think 7 and 8.
Yeah, we have found 7 and 8 as well, yeah.
Yeah, 4 and 6, I believe, are outstanding. So quite a bit of exploration and discovery already in the seed.
And as Threech mentioned before, one of those is going to be overworld blocked, so we'll either need a power bracelet, a raft, or the recorder to check underneath the lake to find one of those last 2.
Yep, there's the magical sword, not too far from its original home, and no hope of that quite yet at 3 hearts.
Another thing that the bow does, even if you have wooden arrows, is it gives you the opportunity to increase your damage output. The bow and the regular arrows, I believe, do 2 hit points of damage, and the silvers do 4. So it can pick up items for you, and it can also be a lot more offense for a ton of different monsters. So yet another reason early bow is excellent.
Yep, absolutely. So Potato Pony seeing the any key on the coast. We are going to, I think, get this coast raft spot checked. Looking for bombs there in all the wrong places. Oh my goodness. This screen is horrible. All right, we got Bogey in level 1 against some red dark nuts with the wood sword. It's just like vanilla level 3.
Oh, I was going to say how Pony got through that screen without getting hit, and then never mind.
No dice.
What do you think is worse, fighting a group of blue Lynels in Zelda 1 or fighting a single Lynel in Breath of the Wild?
Oh, very easily the group of blue Lynels in Zelda 1. By the time I get to Lynels, oh, there's a book on the floor in 1. All right. By the time I get to Lynels in Breath of the Wild, I can usually stand up against them. But I'm nowhere as good as my niece, who at about 7 years old makes absolute mincemeat of Lynels. I still don't know how she did that when she was that young. Fred, they're finding out the bow is the white sword item as well, so he's going to have to get a few more hearts before he's able to go and pick that up. Sis Crusher has acquired another heart container, and so we may be able to try it, so we'll have to see. I know that Sis Crusher located that bow item earlier.
Also, it's worth mentioning that in this randomizer, the book not only adds the flame to the end of the wand magic, but it also acts as an atlas, which gives you the map to every dungeon, including Dungeon 9. So picking that up early, any key and book are 2 things that when you find them early, it's excellent.
Yeah, absolutely. That's true. It's not, that's a flag you do have to enable, but it's been, I think, really a game maker for some of the races that we've seen in this tournament so far, just coming down to really who's got access to the atlas because they found the book early.
Knowledge is always valuable, chat.
Unless it's chemistry, in which case I will not accept that.
Bogey finds the red candle as the second item in level 1. That's the one in the basement, so he's going to pop on over to the triforce, and that will be it for level 1.
Yep. Level 1 is usually a really nice find. You got 2 items in there, usually pretty small. We've got a bomb upgrade already. That's fantastic. Bogey opting not to take that.
What are you doing here, Patra? Get out of here.
To answer a question in chat, Wooden Sword was at First Quest Vanilla level 5, so up to the mountain. We've got 3 out of our 4 runners with a sword so far. Bogey pretty aggressively taking on this Patra. Unfortunately, paying for it just gets a little bit too close. It is so difficult to fight those in any situation unless you've got like the red ring and the magical sword, but especially we've got plus or minus 2 HP on enemies and bosses, so it's very possible that the satellites could roll up or down as well, just adding that extra level of difficulty.
Fred finds the hint location, which unfortunately in these race flags, I believe hints are not helpful specifically. Is that right? I don't think I've seen any helpful hints during
Nope.
these.
Yep,
yeah.
You are totally right. We've got community hints enabled.
So you're just going to find a lot of opinions about Die Hard being the best Final Fantasy, etc.
What do you think? Do you think Die Hard is the best Final Fantasy?
Well, I am the Limit Break, so I feel very passionately about the Final Fantasy series. And I can say unequivocally, yes, absolutely, definitely Die Hard the best.
Yeah, absolutely.
Potato Pony going through level 8. We had seen Sis Crusher go through level 8 earlier and find the Triforce relatively early, but leave without any of the items. We'll see how far Potato Pony wants to delve through this dungeon. Pole's voice never fun with the wood sword. Makes me want to yell into my second controller.
I spent way too much time trying to think up some kind of comparison between Die Hard and Final Fantasy VII, and eventually I just gave up. Yeah, the combat in these flags, in these seeds have been, oh my gosh. So we have seen a few things that have come out of the extra bosses flag, and one of them is that almost every seed requires, if not a full clear, very near to it. So a lot of extra exploration between needing to find a transportation item for that forced overworld block flag, in addition to the extra bosses. You are just spending a lot of time doing things that you don't want to be doing in a Z1R seed. So there's Fred discovering level 9 up there in the northeast corner. But we've got all these patras. You got, if something is dig dogger blocked, you're going to have to find the recorder. If it's blocking a triforce, if something is Goma blocked, you're going to need the bow and arrows anyway. But you're totally right about the Pole's voices. They are just brutal, especially early on.
Bogey has killed 3 of the outside Patra little satellites, which I believe if you kill 3 of them, it locks Patra into not growing and shrinking any longer. I think it's 3. As Sis Crusher, excuse me, that was Sis Crusher, collects the Triforce for number 1.
Excellent. And I believe we did see level 4, so I think level 6 is perhaps our only outstanding dungeon at this point. Gleeoks everywhere. Right. Fred is 2 screens away from potentially getting the wood sword, so we're going to see if he's able to go up there and pick that up.
This is going to be a screen scroll to Vanilla 5, and there it will be. Fred with the replacing the Gibdos sprites with Link sprites, obviously, since he always plays as a Gibdos.
Love it.
I did a race commentary just 2 days ago, it was on Monday, with Dragon Dark. Longtime speedrunner Dragon Dark, and I believe world record holder in Legacy of the Wizard. And he had changed all of his sprites to Legacy of the Wizard sprites, and it was very interesting to try to figure out what he was picking up.
There's been some discussion about that lately in the Z1R Discord. Shout out to the Z1R Discord, by the way, about the Kirby sprites that Crimson Evix has been using. There's all sorts of stuff going on, but it is very cool to see some of those things get picked up. And you're like, what is going on?
Yeah, the level of creativity and support that this game gets from the community is really fantastic. The Discord is really active. Just a great community to be a part of.
Absolutely. Although I don't know if I can really speak to their choice of commentary, but I just have to I have to trust their judgment.
Well, if they let us in, they'll let anybody in. Both Fred and Sis Crusher right now delving level 5. Looks like Potato Pony still going through level 8, so looking for the full clear, I guess, going in and trying to find items. This could work to your favor, or it could hurt you. You find 2 boomerangs and you feel like a fool, but if you delve really deep and find silvers early, that's an excellent sign moving forward.
Yeah, I'm wondering. Oh no, I was gonna say maybe we'll see the pivot out. We're gonna see a compass pickup here on Sis Crusher's side for the Triforce in level 5. But I think level 8 at this point is again one of those psychological games where if you can get an advantage from it, all the better. And some of the sunk cost fallacy also starts to creep in there too. I think we've Yeah, we've already seen this staircase here. But we did actually see that come into play in a race last week where there was a pickup of the power bracelet, and it came down to basically the power bracelet versus I think the raft, and we were looking for that overworld block item, and the power bracelet ended up being very, very deep into a level, and the runner who found it first picked it up around the same time as the runner who found it, or who found the raft. So that ended up being the game-making decision. So it really can come down to, like you said earlier, luck and execution. They both play a huge part in the success of these flags.
As Fred finds the raspberry boomerang in level 5. I keep seeing Realm 5, so I want to say Realm 5. But yeah, magical boomerang in level 5. That's going to be a no from me.
I think everything in level 5 is vaguely raspberry colored. Do you think that the raspberry boomerang is the kind you'd find at the secondhand store? I'm really going making some deep cuts here.
Yeah, I don't know that I follow you on that one. But...
That's okay. Prince had raspberry beret.
Oh, that's true. The kind you would find at a secondhand store.
That's true.
Sis Crusher also seeing the blue raspberry banana and heading back out as well.
Potato Pony really leaning into this 8 dig. We've got 2 outstanding items, or 2 items in 8 total. So again, not a bad play strategically if it pans out, but that's a pretty big gamble, especially, we're not even 30 minutes into the game, and there's still a ton of exploration to be done.
Bogey just found a take one and went and got his 6th heart container, which means that he has a 100% chance to lift the bow. I think that may be why he neglected to buy the bomb upgrade earlier, opting to keep the rupees around for arrows.
That's a great call. Yeah, I'm not certain that Bogey has actually seen yet the White Sword location, but he's so close to it that I'd be surprised if he hadn't made his way over there at some point.
Potato Pony now making his way through level 5, and will probably look around for and find a magical boomerang as well. So, magical boomerang making its presence felt in this.
I can hardly contain my excitement. All right, there's level 4 along the lake. So again, is that triple segmented, I think? Oh no, that's just a hyphen, and I am confused.
Yeah, it's just double segmented here, but still a bit strange for level 4, which I believe in Vanilla 1 is not. It only has a single basement. This one will have 2, one to connect the 2 segments, and one to house the trophy.
I like a nice, easy level 4. That's my preference. And we've got the item, the wand. Ooh, that's a really nice combat advantage to have.
Definitely. The wand not only dealing White Sword damage, which is 2 hit points, but also has a strangely larger hitbox than the sword. So you can hit some people from some weird angles with the wand. And also, if you're not familiar out there in chat, you can use the wand and the sword simultaneously, and both will deal damage, so you can kind of combine your attacks by pressing both attack buttons at once.
That's great. I do not envy Sis Crusher the room that he's in right now. This is just brutal. The bomb across the water. Pookie's gonna clip to pick it up. I do have first-hand experience into the fact that you can clip too far out onto the water and get yourself stuck. That is possible. Yeah. Don't try it at home. Check your own hubris.
Yes, check your own hubris, yes.
So there's our triforce in level 3, and it looks like without a ladder, that blue Darknet room may have been required.
These red Darknuts rolling down to 3 hit points, it looks like, which is nice. Anytime you can one-shot something with a bomb, especially if they drop bombs, that's super helpful.
Yep, absolutely. Always like to see that. I always like to get a little bit of vengeance on red Darknuts just because I've seen the beginning of level 3 so many times that you just eventually want to be like, okay, this is cathartic for me.
Yeah, like a true speedrunner. Level 3. Normally, speedrunners, they know the pain of level 1 limbo. In Zelda 1, it's level 3 limbo.
Fred's picking up the map in level 8, gets to see this lovely segmented little bit here. Bogey's just like, okay, I'm done clipping across the water to get these bombs. And Fred's gonna... Oh, no!
Oh, did he die? Oh, fireballs always get you.
Oh, yeah, that pickup did not count. It looks like he got it just about on the same frame as the death, picked up the triforce, and unfortunately has to go retrieve that again, but not too far. Oh, he's actually going back in. All right. Shout out to our tracker, Cami and Renikai, for keeping track of 4 runners at the same time. I promise you that is not as easy as it sounds.
No, it is not. Yeah, this wand really making short work of a lot of these enemies. Oh, that's a lot of blue dark.
That's a lot. Wow. Yeah, the thing about when you've got the enemy shuffle like this, it's never quite as simple as it looks if you've got combat that can be prohibitively difficult in some of these rooms.
And to make matters worse, because we have the book, Bogey's wand is leaving fire behind, and you can totally hurt yourself with that fire. Another death for Potato Pony. The combat in this one, as you said, especially in the overworld, really beginning to add up. Now, we did see this heart container across the lake on Fred's screen in level 8 earlier. Although there was a pretty deep dig, we didn't find any of the items, so I'm curious if they are all ladder blocked, potentially.
Yep, level 8 is keeping its secrets. Bogey picks up the triangle out of level 4 and continues up the coast and is going to be rewarded with the bow in short order. Does have enough money right now that he could buy, if he finds the bomb upgrade again, makes it back to level 1, that and probably the arrows, depending on how expensive those are. Fred's going to pick up the triforce for real this time out of level 8.
Yep, Bogey finds his bow, and definitely has the money for arrows. Not only is there the bomb upgrade in 1, but because this is first quest, there's another one around here somewhere as well. Hot snakes. No shortage of cash on this seed. Both the large and small secrets have rolled up, and bombs only costing less than 10 rupees.
Yeah, I always love to see a cheap bomb upgrade, or not bomb upgrade, but a bomb pack there in shops.
As Fred begins his delve through level 1.
So we've had a few questions in chat about the setup, the layout of the current match. So we are seeing on Syscrusher's side an asynchronized game. Syscrusher has already played the seed, and we are playing it at the same time to debut along with the 3 racers who are running it live. This is game 3 of 3 for this group, and you can see the points that have been attributed to each racer next to their Twitch handle. So we've got Fred and Bogey both tied at 7, Syscrusher at 4 points, and Potato Pony at 2. So let's get into the complicated stuff about what are the win conditions for proceeding to the next round. So we're going to expect to see one of these racers obviously is going to finish first. So Fred and Bogey will progress to the next round if they don't finish last. However, what we're going to see is that Syscrusher will be moving on if Syscrusher wins the race and we see Fred or Bogey finishing last. There is a certain amount of time that it has been taken into consideration for the differential that has to be made up in order for that victory condition. So we can get into some specifics as we start to see this progress through the end of the race, but nothing is completely out of the question right now. We're going to see how the race progresses and how these racers continue on in this seed, and we will just see how things go.
You see, if we get into overtime and both teams decide that they want to just take a knee, then the Steelers will not be going to the playoffs.
So the Pittsburgh Penguins had the first goaltender to enter in a playoff game in the second overtime or later.
I have seen this, yes.
I love sports superlatives. It is the most beautiful thing. We're going to see Bogey picking up the wood arrows in the shop. They rolled a 68 rupees, so not too bad. Still going to have a little bit of cash left over, and we know with that 8 rupee bomb pack, that's still a very good deal.
I know you're a Pittsburgh sports fan in general, and I also know that you know a lot about sports.
I know more about sports than anyone has a right to.
Oh.
This is a common theme you will find in my life. We're seeing a little bit of overlap here. Fred in level 1, Potato Pony in level 3, and we've seen dungeon progress for both of those levels, so we're definitely keeping an eye out for additional exploration. I still think level 6 is outstanding, but we are 36 minutes into this match, and the fewest number of triforces that anyone has to pick up is still 5, so we've got a good amount of progress to go. At least everyone has their sword. I mean, really, that is the thing I would be looking out for. Does everyone have their sword at this point?
Yeah, 6 is going to be our overworld block, and numerically, there's an 80% chance that it's blocked by the power bracelet and a 20% by the recorder. So we will be on the lookout for those things. Ooh, as Bogey finds the stepladder just chilling on the floor in level 2.
That is my favorite way for the ladder to be, just chilling on the floor in level 2.
No monsters, no nothing. It's just he entered the closet, and there it was.
All right, ooh, there is a dig dogger. So we may need, depending on how this level 2 plays out, we may need a recorder to progress. But Bogey, not to be deterred, continues on to defeat the room with the blue dark nuts. We'll see how this goes. This is like Blue Lagoon, but worse.
Yeah, but you don't have magical sword. It's always the fireballs that get me in this. It's always the turrets more than the monsters. The turrets are just relentless when there's 4 of them. Bogey gonna regroup and up A, and there will only be 2 when he re-enters the room.
Sis Crusher is going to pick up the wand here out of level 4. Again, an excellent find. It also has the book, so we'll see the fireballs as well. One of my favorite things to do in this game is to identify rooms that the racers go into where I know that myself, I would just say, nope, not doing that right now. And then peace out for another 20 minutes. Nice heart pickup there.
Rooms like that are a good reason why I don't involve myself in the playing of the tournament. I leave that to the experts. Ooh, as Potato Pony finds the white sword in level 3.
Don't mind finding that. So Bogey has exited level 2, which tells us that level 2 is recorder blocked. Now, we've still, I think, got an outstanding dungeon, level 6, that seems to be our overworld block, unless I have missed something significant. Very possible. But the recorder could be the key to unlocking this game. Speaking of keys, Bogey, gonna do a world wrap, head over and pick up the any key off the coast.
Seeing a lot of entries and re-entries in this. I just happened to notice not a lot of triforces just laying about the place. This Crusher in the lead right now with 3 triforce pieces, at least in terms of triforce pickups. In the lead is a very subjective term in something like this.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, it is such a hard thing to call. One question that we see a lot is, who's winning? People pop in the chat. Absolutely a great question to ask. Very difficult to find an answer, especially because advantages and crucial moments could come at any time. So we can see instances where someone finds an item that is required for progress, but another person finds an item that is another piece of the puzzle, and it just depends on, again, luck, routing, execution.
Yeah, especially at this point in the match when we're really in the dog days, just trying to grind up and collect all of our triforce pieces, find all of our equipment, and it won't really be super clear until much later on when we start to see people who really only need their 1 triforce or to find their 1 item. That makes it a little clearer.
Yep, so we're going to see Bogey back in level 1 to take down the Patra without too much of an issue with that sword and wand, and is able to get the Triforce here out of level 1, following Sis Crusher, who was able to take down the Patra earlier. Fred is now in the same blue dark nut room that we saw earlier, I believe on Sis Crusher's side, in order to progress through level 3.
And Potato Pony in level 4 right now, which is where the magic wand was located, and the white sword wand combination is a nice strong combination to have.
Absolutely. Strong offense can make all the difference. We haven't seen too many magical sword pickups in this tournament. Not at all surprising. If time is of the essence, then you're usually not hanging around to collect as many hearts as you can. But if you luck into it and the magical sword rolls to a low enough heart count that you're able to pick it up, that can be absolutely killer.
Yeah, I ran a seed just for funsies for myself just last night, and magical sword was a good old 14.
You love to see it.
You love to see it, where you just say to yourself, "Welp, I guess we're gonna have to stab Ganon about 12 times."
Sis Crusher is in the room below the Triforce in level 4. Could walk through Gleok's butt.
Yes, Gleok's butt, no hitbox.
Ooh, this is a nice room, especially with no ladder. All right, Sis Crusher and Potato Pony both in level 4. Just taking stock of where these racers are. We see Fred in level 2, who is going to find out that you need the recorder to progress. This is race 3 out of 3 for this group of runners, and 2 of these runners are going to be moving on depending on the outcome of this race.
Hot. Good old Moldorm. I knew about Moldorm and Link to the Past, but I didn't know that the fire snakes in this game are the Moldorm.
I did not know that until I started hanging out in Z1R community. I didn't realize they were the same enemy.
The number of things that I have learned watching speedruns and randomizers cannot be quantified. It's such a high number.
I think it's so cool because I've been watching this game being run, Z1R, for a few years now. I think this is year 3 or 4, and I learn things every single time I watch a race. Also, shameless plug and shout out to the Z1R wiki. Mostly because Bogey and I wrote it, but also because it is an excellent collection of information. So if you are looking for information on how to perform certain tricks in Z1R, you want to know a little bit more about how the game is played, definitely a good thing to check out. But overall, I would absolutely suggest anyone who wants to get more involved in this community or learning the game at all, check out the Z1R Discord. It is absolutely the central location for getting with people who know a whole lot about this game.
And also, I would assume that all 4 of these racers would enjoy it very much if you went to their channels and hit that follow button. And they are all very friendly and would be happy to tell you anything that you'd like to know as well about this game or about this community. It is always one of the things that's so wonderful about a place like SpeedGaming, and thank you to SpeedGaming for giving us the opportunity to have a place to do this, is that you get to see all of these runners. But remember, these people they all have their own channels as well. They all have their own individual places that you can visit.
Absolutely. I think it's been remarked upon in every race, or at least all the ones that I've been in, because it still continues to astound me. We had such a stacked lineup at the beginning of this tournament, and guess what? It's still very stacked. Absolutely top quality, world-class runners of this game, of the Randomizer, are competing in this tournament, and so it has been so exciting to see the progress that everyone has made. I'd be terrified to compete in this because of just the caliber of some of the runners you could be pitted against, but every single person who enters into this kind of tournament is just an excellent racer and absolutely gets to showcase their skills every time they're on screen. So it is very cool. It's always a good matchup.
Yeah, the caliber of racers for sure. I mean, Fred F. Coughlin in your top left corner is the person who invented this randomizer. He's the guy who programmed it. We've got, I know Bogey has a vanilla time of 28. He's got a sub 29. Yeah, I mean, there's no shortage of talent in this pool.
Absolutely. And if you've never tried speedrunning Zelda 1, that is not easy.
Mm-mm. Actually, was just before we got on, I happened to catch Whack Attack. Managed, what was this? I wrote it down. A 35:10 in Swordless second quest for a new world record just today.
I don't believe it's even possible to beat second quest. I refuse to accept it.
Second quest, swordless.
Brutal. Fred grabs the wand out of level 4, so we've got all 4 of our runners with really decent offense here. Bogey is the only one who hasn't found the white sword yet in level 3.
Now, I'm intrigued to see more of this level 8 because we had discovered that it was, I mean, people have been delving this thing pretty deep and still not managing to get any items out of it. But Bogey with the step ladder might be able to find some new things for us.
I know this is absolutely sadistic, but it would be so funny if the 2 items in 8 were the wooden boomerang and the ghost heart.
Well, anything could happen, and the game does know.
It's true. It's sentient and aware.
It looks like Bogey, we're getting a little bit of some lag here, but Bogey looks like he's picked up his level 8 triforce just there. There we go.
Yep, a little bit of hiccup. Well, Limit, I can tell you with a good amount of confidence that someone died. We are working on it. We appreciate your patience, folks. Shoutouts to the stream crew at SpeedGaming for putting an amazing and massive undertaking together to get this tournament organized. Absolutely stellar work they have done so far, and they continue to deliver excellent entertainment to everyone. And we are so appreciative of everyone who's put in all that hard work to make this thing happen. It's been, I think, about 2 years since the last tournament we had. I believe that was in 2020, if I'm not mistaken. So it's very exciting to see everyone back on the screen. To be honest, I've completely lost sense of my concept of time, so it could have been 3 years ago, it could have been yesterday, I don't even know.
The last 2 years have been like that, I think, for everybody on the planet, so there's no shame in any of that. Good grief.
It's very true, but we appreciate that everyone is here. So give these runners a follow if you get an opportunity to. Again, thank you for your patience as we work to get the video restored.
Aha!
Looks like we're back in action. Oh, they're playing Zelda!
Oh, is that the game?
Oh my gosh, I knew I recognized this music from somewhere. All right. Ooh, so we're seeing some progress in level 7. Everyone's favorite. There's the ghost art in 7. All right. Sis Crusher taking a death there on the Overworld, just as a little bit of progress to make back to get back to that spot. I think we had an any road not too terribly far from start too, but I haven't, to be honest, I haven't paid attention to the distribution of those on the Overworld.
Yeah, I mostly, when I do this, I mostly just keep track of where the levels are located. As we are seeing Potato Pony and Sis Crusher continue to search around this overworld, probably just going level to level in the hopes. I wonder if maybe the two of them have not yet found level 2. Not having the stepladder seems like that would be indicative of such a thing.
Where do we have vanilla? Or sorry, where do we have level 2 in this seed?
It is in the dead woods, and it's in one of the burnable bushes as soon as you walk in.
Aha.
Is Potato Pony gonna do the world wrap? Uh-oh. Except looks like a block too high.
Oh no! Yeah, a little bit of progress lost there. And chat, thank you very much for keeping us honest here. That Bogey does indeed have the white sword. Must have picked it up in 3.
Oh.
What chat doesn't know is that Limit and I have a timer on the back end, and if there is an interruption to video or service at any point, we start that timer, and once it ticks down, we bust out the karaoke machine. All of you were maybe 15 seconds away from being exposed to pure greatness, so my apologies, but next time.
I mean, I actually do get paid money to sing on stage every once in a while, so it wouldn't have been the worst. But Threech, you would accompany me with many hats.
I could find a tambourine, maybe. Oh, our first item in 8, we've got the power bracelet. All right.
Excellent. That's going to unlock 4 overworld locations, and of course, we are still on the hunt for level 4, which very likely could be underneath one of those. We do know that the recorder is going to be required for delving the rest of level 2, and so we have to keep an eye out for that. And remember that the recorder cannot be located in level 9, so it's going to have to be in one of these overworld dungeons.
And we're looking at outstanding items. Silver arrows, recorder. So some combination of the silvers, the red ring, and the wooden boomerang are going to be in level 9.
Yeah, that sounds about right to me. Yeah, although the silvers are required, they could show up in level 9, as they do show up in vanilla level 9. But the other ones, because they unlock overworld locations, they will not be blocked by level 9, even in the instance that they're not required. They're still only shuffled as overworld items.
Yep. And now we're seeing Bogey going back in level 8 here. Wants to find, I think, the second item because he's already got the triforce out of it. So that power bracelet discovery could make a difference, but ooh, we see Fred finds the red ring in 8 just as Bogey does the same. So Bogey now has the information that recorder is in level 6 and silvers and the wooden boomerang are in level 9. But that's a great pickup on Fred's side. Having the red ring for defense just makes it a little bit easier to not take fatal damage.
Oh yeah, I mean, just as a quality of life upgrade, the red ring allows you to face tank through all kinds of different things. Always a fantastic upgrade to get.
So now we've got to search on the overworld for some power bracelet spots. Bogey's finding the letter at the southern power bracelet spot there.
I like to call the letter the prescription because you need it to buy medicine. I'm trying to get that to catch on.
I'm still trying to get Dead Pig with 2 P's to catch on, but so far No dice. It is funny exactly to just my family. Oh, and my apologies. Bogey actually did. Oh, no, he picked up the red ring, and I did mention that. I'm just entirely too forgetful.
You got it.
I literally just said that.
Sis Crusher delving through level 8 now. And with, it looks like Sis Crusher has the ladder. So now is the time to do it. Finding that power bracelet is likely going to be valuable. We'll find out. Bogey out in front looking to see if maybe it's useful.
My thought, I believe, is at this point it has to be the graveyard spot.
That is going to be the next place on his list. And if it's not, then where else would Recorder be? But well, if Recorder's level 6. As Sis Crusher finds the power bracelet, and Potato Pony picks up the Triforce in level 1. The dogs who live next door to me are very excited about it.
Oh no.
They don't need an excuse to bark for anything. There's level 6. It is underneath the power bracelet by the grave. You called it, Threech.
All right. You know what? I get one per race, and this was it. Bogey taking the transport staircase right off the bat in level 6. Interesting choice. Ends up right at the easternmost end, at the state of Maine that is on level 6.
Yeah, name that cactus there, level 6, chat. I see a golfer, maybe? Maybe a Mario Golf character.
You better hope it's not golf with your friends. That's me getting a hole-in-one on every single hole in golf with your friends. Ooh, I like the recliner answer.
Ooh, yeah, that's nice. Fred also delving level 8 now with the step ladder. These racers obviously going to need to find that power bracelet, but we still need the recorder. So Bogey, now knowing that the recorder is going to be in here because it couldn't be anywhere else, we'll have to full clear the whole darn shebang just to find it.
Yeah, we did have a comment in chat earlier that Bogey did not pick up the heart container in level 7. I'm not certain whether or not that's true because it may have occurred during our video shenanigans there. So Bogey may or may not have knowledge that the recorder is in fact in level 6.
Oh.
Ooh, this level 8 is like a sand trap. It is catching everyone. So we've got second quest rooms enabled for these flags, and that does indicate to us that push blocks will be pushable in rooms where they may otherwise not be in first quest. And when you're looking for push blocks, there are certain patterns of rooms where those blocks are pushable, but it will always be the leftmost block on the center row.
Hey, that's right. I didn't even notice that it was always the leftmost block on the center row. I just kind of know which blocks are which.
Yep, I think those patterns become very distinct over time, but there is actually a method to the madness. So something like this, the room with the two 6-block clusters, those are not going to go. Bogey doing one of my favorite things about this game, which is that if you run into a mugger room that asks for your keys and you have the any key, you can just pick that option and it doesn't cost you anything, and it only costs the shopkeeper or the NPC their pride. Here's Fred picking up the power bracelet in level 8.
And with the quick up A out. as Fred is going to start prioritizing looking for level 6.
Yep, so bear with us. I think we have a little bit more catch-up to do on Triforce acquisition, again, from where the video was stuttering a little bit. There's Bogey's Triforce out of 6.
I'm not convinced he really wanted to get that right now. He's going to be turning around and coming back in this dungeon, I have a feeling.
Yeah, it's a hefty level 6. So interestingly, our Overworld block was not the recorder, it was the power bracelet. However, we do know that the recorder is required because level 2 has that dig dogger. So we know this isn't going to be an item room with a push block because of the shutter doors there, the block required to be pushed to open those.
That one I did know.
I just like to sound like I know what I'm talking about. Most of the time I just have to check myself after and be like, is that right? But if you say things with enough confidence, people believe you.
Especially on the internet.
Absolutely. I know it's so overdone, but leg licks really do make me want pancakes.
I had pancakes just this morning.
Oh my goodness. You didn't send me any?
I took a mental health day from work today. I just said, you know what? I'm going to take care of myself because I deserve it. Oh, Bogey finds his recorder. Anyway, the punchline of that story is I ordered in IHOP.
Wonderful. And Sis Crusher is going to find the red ring here. It looks like Sis Crusher did buy the blue ring at some point. I don't think Sis Crusher started with the blue Link sprite. That is an option, but I don't believe that was the case. Get your cat jams in chat for the recorder. Bogey heading back into level 7 here. We know 7 has the heart and does not have the arrows, or the silver arrows rather, but we're still looking for a Triforce piece.
Bogey opting not to pick up the Coast Heart. I suppose racers of this caliber, once they have the white sword, they just figure, this is good enough, I don't need to go pick up mags.
Yep, and I believe we did see the Triforce piece in 7 was over here on the eastern side of this top bit. I think maybe one room over from here. Potato Pony unfortunately dies fairly deep into level 8 there.
Yeah, I feel like the post-race interviews, we are going to hear a lot about level 8
Oh my goodness.
being nasty.
Yep. There's level 7's Triforce for Bogey, and he is going to head over to level 2 to defeat that Dig Dogger.
Yeah, the real difference maker in this, I think, Bogey clearly in the lead at this point, I think, is that he was able to find the step ladder early, that early delve through 2, and being the first person to catch that has really helped him out in this.
Yep. Chat pointing out Sis Crusher not too far behind as well, is not far off, I think, from finding the recorder here in level 6, which is, again, the next piece of the puzzle in order to take down level 2, but still needs 3 more pieces of Triforce.
Yeah, Sis Crusher also taking the transport all the way to the other side of 6, but we saw that the Triforce and the recorder were both actually closer to the start location than they were to the transport, so actually going to slow him down a little bit to be on that far side.
Yep. Chat asking if Fred has seen the old man, so has Fred identified the white sword item? I don't. My guess is no, because with 7 hearts at any given time, and if Fred knew where the bow was, I would assume that that would be something he would prioritize to go pick up as a white sword item, especially because it is quite centrally located on the overworld map. However, it's also possible he is just routing that in for later and actually has seen it. We won't know until he goes and to that screen to see if he's burned that bush.
Bogey just getting past this unruly dig dogger that was blocking our further delve of level 2.
So if 2 triforce is down here, ladder could be additionally required. Have we seen that be a blocker for any dungeon so far?
Well, 2 would have had the ladder inside it.
That is true.
So you would, it would be required, but you would pick it up on the way.
Amazing how those things happen, isn't it?
Bogey turned tail and ran from the Goma room, just because why would you want to fight a Goma? And it looks like that may be where the Triforce be.
Could be. We haven't seen a compass yet. If it's not, there it is.
Yep. Yep.
Speaking of, as Potato Pony gets the Triforce, I think that was level 5, maybe?
Yes, I believe that was level 5 behind the waterfall there.
Siscrusher and Fred both making their way through level 6 here. The dig for the recorder. Bogey grabs the Triforce piece out of level 2 and is going to be our first runner to head for level 9. Has all 8 pieces of the Triforce. It's going to be making his way up to the top right corner, northeast corner, and should at this point, through process of elimination, know that the silvers are in 9. Or he's taking a gamble. No, he found the heart in 7, so we should be able to find this here.
I believe this was, level 9 right in here. Perfect. So now that we are in level 9, you might think that the game is about over for Bogey, but if you have not been watching these races, you could not be more wrong. Level 9 also has the potential to be extremely trolly. So many different staircases to take, teleporting staircases, blocks. The game ain't over till it's over.
That's very, very, very true. The navigation in level 9, it all comes down to your tracking, your execution, your luck, your memory. There is so much involved here. Combat, but with the red ring, the white sword, and the wand, there should be no issue for any of these runners. And the any key on top of that. Fred picks up the Triforce at a level 6. So Fred may have a few extra Triforce pieces here that we missed during our small video interruption. But still, Fred and Siscrusher and Potato Pony have quite a bit of ground to make up before catching up to Bogey in 9 here. This is potentially... Nope, not Zelda's room. All right.
That's right. In level 9, you're looking for a couple of telltale signs that you need to be where you need to be. If you'll hear Ganon roaring in any room adjacent to where he is staying, which is not something... Oh, as Bogey finds the silvers...
Good find.
Ooh. Yes, so you will hear Ganon screaming from the next room so long as there's not another boss in the room with you. And Zelda is always going to be behind a shutter door that will remain sealed even if the room is cleared of all enemies. So it's one of my things that I like to do is I just like to kind of search every other room and keep your ears open. It's level 9.
Yep.
It's level 9. It's level 9, level 9.
One of the things that can make it a little bit more difficult with these flags is, again, with the extra boss's flag, the boss roars will over... Ooh, we found Zelda's room. All right. So that shutter door did not open. It was a single shutter door in the room, and it didn't open when it should have, so we know that that is where the princess is located. Those roars can actually obfuscate the roar of Ganon, and so you have to leave and re-enter the room after the boss has been defeated in order to verify whether that was actually Ganon's roar. There's the wooden boomerang!
Hail
Is
Lord
everyone
Banana.
happy now?
All hail.
So Bogey really just looking for Ganon at this point. I believe he picked up a potion at some point, if I'm not mistaken. One of them picked up a potion. It may have actually been Fred. But should be in good shape.
Sis Crusher finding that heart container in level 7. Turning tail and leaving without it. That's always unfortunate when you're getting down into the final few little bits and saying, that wasn't the silvers either.
More like a broken heart container at that point.
I like that.
Thank you. So Bogey doing some routing here in level 9 that makes a lot of sense. If you know that Ganon is going to be in a room adjacent to where you are, then you really only have to hit the middle room that touches other rooms, so pretty nice for discovery. Sis Crusher picks up the Triforce out of level 7 and is now just going to have to go back to level 6. Or sorry, level 2, rather, and find that Triforce.
Yep, we saw that Triforce underneath the Goma in level 2, and also being recorder blocked by a Dig Dogger. So, it's a nice small level and no sort of weird twists and turns in it. It's extremely linear. I think completely linear, actually.
This level 9 really kind of being a jerk. Well, there's Zelda's room.
Not the first time we've seen level 9 be a jerk.
Fred's got his Triforce out of 5, needs, I think, 2 more pieces. He's got the 1, so I'd actually be surprised if he hadn't already beaten level 4. Bogey's on a mad dash for staircases at this point. Unfortunately, he's gonna up an A and then lose the health that he did have. But again, red ring shouldn't make that too much of a problem. As the children say, at this point it is Bogey's race to lose, so he's really just gotta get through here and find Ganon. Ooh, there it is! Alright.
Yep.
Northeast corner. That is brutal. That is very linear and gets the swag arrow. Stun lock for the first 2 hits, but Ganon not cooperating today. There's Ganon down, grabs the Triforce, and now Bogey just has to make his way over to Princess Zelda.
Fred also bypassing the Goma that is sitting on the Triforce, little does he know.
Absolutely makes sense, though. Like, if you don't have to wait and fight a blue Goma, it is such a time sink, it absolutely makes sense to skip that.
And Sis Crusher, if the tracker is correct, does not have arrows to kill this Goma. Yep, and must leave. That's really unfortunate.
That is a very good point.
Man. And when you're, I don't know how, Bogey Smalls finishes with 1 hour, 16 minutes, 59 seconds unofficially.
Get your GGs in chat for the winner of tonight's race, Bogey Smalls, who will be moving on to the next round with that victory. I think we're gonna get him in here for an interview shortly, just to talk about level 8 for a little while.
Yeah. I don't know how other people track, but man, I don't mark where my arrow shops are when I'm doing it, when I'm doing my tracking. And we have got Bogey Smalls joining us in the chat to talk a little bit about today's race. GG's, Bogey.
GG,
Hey,
Bogey.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great job. You did it. Look at you.
I just tapped it in.
Just tap it in. Give us your thoughts, man. How did that go? How are you feeling?
Well, obviously, I feel good about the fact that I was able to win that race. It was definitely a little bit of a trolley seed. I was kind of taking a somewhat conservative approach in terms of just full clearing everything. I didn't want to leave any dungeon kind of left behind. So I pretty much found everything. I think, I think I even found the boomerang in 9, but it was interesting in a lot of different ways. I think the arrows were only available in Northwest Death Mountain, at least as far as I'm aware. There's 3 or 4 spots in the Southwest I never ended up going around to because I knew at that point I just had to find level 6, which was Overworld blocked. So finding arrows was a little bit trolly. Getting the ladder out of 2 but not being able to complete it, so I had to come back with the recorder. Level 3, I was, early on, I think I was just key blocked in general. I knew that any key was sitting on the coast, and I didn't want to invest too many rupees in buying keys, but I needed a few to kind of get things going in 1 and a little bit in 3. And I think once I found the ladder, I started to relax a little bit because having that any key is huge in this flag set, and things just kind of opened up from there. Picking up the wand was great. I wasn't necessarily happy to see the white sword at the time, but obviously that came up pretty big in terms of just being able to move through rooms and dungeons pretty quickly. So I was just trying to make sure I didn't come in last. And so obviously I was able to do that.
Yeah, it's a great race. It's so funny to see because there are some commonalities that everyone seems to be taking. First, level 8. We talked about that a few times. Everyone got stuck in level 8 and was digging and digging and digging, and you were the first one to go in there and actually find the power bracelet. Others followed suit. Obviously, the power bracelet led us eventually to level 6, where we picked up the recorder, which we needed to get through level 2. And
Yep.
then level 2 does its thing and has that blue Goma that blocked the triforce. Every single runner skipped the blue Goma off the bat. Aside from Sis Crusher, who we know actually had not purchased the arrows at that point. So was
Actually,
not.
As you say that, while Bogey was talking about going through level 2 and finding the stepladder early, both Fred Coughlin and Potato Pony also delved into level 2 without arrows and needed to come out.
Oh my goodness.
Pony actually is out on the hunt for arrows right now, but the other 2 had to leave, find arrows, and come back. So, man, apparently wooden arrows were a big time block in this, and we didn't even see it until we're seeing it now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. And the first time I saw that Goma, just because you're coming in from the top, I'm like, I just don't. There were only 6 or 7 rooms beyond that. I'm like, I'll just go check the other rooms, no big deal. But I didn't really want to I didn't feel like waiting around for 3 cycles to get Goma. But of course, as I got to the tip of level 2, got my compass, and I'm like, of course, it's it's that Goma.
It's always the room you don't want it to be in, yeah.
Well, the game knows.
The game knows.
So very exciting stuff. So you're going to be moving on to the next round. What are your thoughts on how to prepare for what to expect in the next round?
So I think in order for Crusher to have moved on, he would have had to have won, and either Fred or I would have to have come in last, and then time would have played a factor. So I think it's Fred and I moving on. Obviously, Fred's insanely knowledgeable about the game, only having created it.
Oh, is that it?
That's all. He's fun to race against. We've had a lot of matches, ironically enough, over the last 18, 24 months. And I think, we pair up pretty well, both in terms of combat skill and I think he has obviously a little bit more knowledge of the game, but each race I'm trying to learn more and more. So, it's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to it. He's fun to race. Great guy, obviously. And yeah, it's going to be a good one.
It's very exciting. We've got some phenomenal matchups that are going to be coming up. I believe scheduling is going to continue on Saturday once all of the races have concluded for the week, but definitely exciting to see you moving on and to see folks who are in this competition, in this tournament, who are just incredible racers. So they're going to give you a run for your money, but I know you're prepared. So yeah, that's going to be great.
Yeah, and GG's to Sis Crusher and Potato Pony. These were both very tough fought races. Games 1, 2, and 3, and when I saw the pairings, I'm like, it's gonna be a nail biter, and I was really nervous going into game 1 just because I didn't want to start from behind in terms of the points, and was able to pull out a win in game 1, and then game 2, Fred had a phenomenal race, and I kind of had no business winning or getting second place in that race because Sis Crusher had beat me to Ganon, and he could have easily taken second there. So in terms of preparing for Fred, it's just playing my game. I don't know from a metagame perspective if there's going to be anything. It's going to be a little bit different, obviously, because it's first to Zelda or Ganon in Fred's case. Yeah, we'll see. I'll start thinking about that over the weekend.
Absolutely. Thanks everyone for your patience as we get the video feedback up. It looks like it is running smoothly again. We've got Sis Crusher and Fred both with the silvers in level 9 as they are trying to find Ganon here. Yeah, that was... What are your thoughts on the Ganon placement in this level 9?
So I was trying to walk one column in and one row in because you can get pretty good coverage in terms of being able to hear the roar. And I got up to that northwest little set block of rooms that you needed a magical staircase to get up there. I'm like, that would be a really good place for him to hide. Luckily, I was able to find the stair that got me up there. He wasn't there. I'm like, you know what? He's probably in that northeast corner. I had a few rooms kind of in the center, but it felt like, when the map kind of has like these little, blocks of rooms that jut out into the map on their own, he likes to hide there. And, thankfully Zelda was very easy to find.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's interesting because Ganon was hiding up in that linear part of level 9, the right side that kind of looks like the Stanley Cup. Do you know what the Stanley Cup looks like?
I do. It's been a few years, but I do know what it looks like.
It was a sick dig. No, I'm just kidding. Excellent. We're going to see both of these runners start to make their way. I think Fred has maybe caught on to the fact that this is up in the northeast corner.
Yeah, and Sis Crusher was making his way up there as well, but as Bogey had mentioned, there's a magic staircase that takes you up there, so got blocked and is now continuing on in another direction. Fred finds his lovely Ganon, who is shaped like Zelda.
And Potato Pony, also entering level 9, is starting to make a pretty similar dig to what we have seen from the runners on stream already. Everyone's got the white sword, it looks like, and Fred is able to take down Zelda. Now just has to make his way back to I guess, Ganon's room. And Potato Pony has found the silvers in 9. So now it is a race to the finish. I don't actually know if Fred has seen Ganon's room yet. It's very possible, though. You found that pretty early, Bogey, in level 9 too. So that was a nice way back to where you needed to go.
Yep,
Yeah, if Fred goes south here, yeah, he'll have it.
Yep, there it is. All right. So our second place finisher for tonight's race, F. Coughlin. Everyone, get your GGs out in chat. For second place, going to Fred. And the official time on that is 1 hour, 27 minutes, and 44 seconds.
And the quality, we've mentioned it before, but the quality of the racers in this tournament, really fantastic. And it's wonderful to see everybody doing so well. As Fred Coughlin joins us in the chat. How are you doing, sir, Fred? Good to hear you. GG's. Nice job.
That was a seed. All the things in all the wrong orders.
GG's.
Yes, very well done crushing that one there, Bogey. Well
Thanks.
done.
Yeah, it was a nice little logic seed there in terms of, having to get your bow, the recorder, power bracelet before some of that.
Yeah, so basically everything. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It was nearly a full clear. We were discussing a few common threads that we observed for all 4 runners in this particular seed. Level 8 being one of them. The sand trap level, it just sort of bogged everyone down there.
Yeah, I could definitely see that one. I mean, again, you get that triforce 3 rooms in. You say, okay, maybe I'll peek a tiny bit. Oh wait, it's transport stairs to other segments. And I think it was Dark Nuts in there. I was like, yeah, we'll come back later. Wish I'd gone and found that red ring though.
Yeah, that was a great find. Level 8 was definitely quite a substantial dig there.
I wish I'd found that earlier because that would have definitely helped out just a little bit.
Another common thread that we saw every racer except for Bogey fall prey to was the last-minute surprise need for wooden arrows to be wooden arrow blocked at the very end of the seed. That must have panicked everybody, I imagine.
Yeah, that's an understatement. I just, again, with the way things fell, it was the rare shop, and I never got to that section of Death Mountain. So I had all the levels except for 1 and knew that 6 had to be hidden under something. So I said, okay, I'm just going to stop exploring. We'll either find silvers or, there won't be a Goma block.
There's no way. I feel like all we needed was a bait block, and that would have been a perfectly rounded seed.
I was expecting it.
I was prepared. Gotta buy the meat.
I mean, I had them all written down. I just kept spending the money on either a couple of keys in the early going, and then on bomb upgrades and other stuff. And got lucky when I was searching for a level 6. I mean, I last located that one too. That I found a large secret to make sure I had enough money to get through the rest of the seed. I probably needed. I think I had enough money for the arrows, even if I hadn't, but it would have been almost no ammo then.
Yeah, absolutely. One question that we were wondering about, Fred, how early did you find the bow as the white sword item?
I found that pretty early. I actually found that before I even got the sword, because when I found the raft at the Armos spot, I went and I did all of Candle Row after that. So I saw the bow when I was doing that area, and so I knew it was there. The problem was when I discovered that cave, I had 3 hearts. So I had no chance of even possibly picking that up. So I just kept that one in the back of my mind saying, okay, when I get up 4 or 5 hearts, I'll consider going back. And then I don't remember which level it was I dug where I found a heart at level 4. I found a heart while I was clearing that one out. That put me up to 6. And I said, okay, well, I'm heading up towards level 7 anyway. It's directly on my way. Let's go just get that now.
Yeah, I know we had remarked at some point, I think you had 7 hearts, 6 or 7 hearts, and hadn't found the bow yet. We had a little bit of a video interruption on our side as well. So there was some that was somewhat lost in the race.
Yep.
But
As I
Yep.
said, I think I found that one reasonably early. It may have just been during that hiccup there, but as I said, I had 3 hearts, so I knew I could not have finished at that point.
Yep, absolutely. So interesting turn of events here on the stream. Potato Pony and Siscrusher have both found Ganon at about the same time. So again, we are seeing a little bit of hiccup in in the stream right at a critical moment. But we are going to keep an eye out to see what kind of finish we see here from Siscrusher and Potato Pony. So Fred, any thoughts on preparation for the next round? Any specific things you are planning to do for practice?
To just hope that I don't keep doing this full clear every single dungeon, every single room thing, especially against Bogey here, because Bogey and I've got a history. We've fought a whole bunch in the past, and we're pretty dang even. I think every single one of our races in the past even, can go back and forth, so I just gonna have to get lucky against Bogey, play either aggressive or unaggressive, depending on which one I think will make it more likely that I'll get lucky against Bogey, and do what we can.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be 3 coin flips.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm not saying it'll be a bad thing. It's just gonna be a
Yeah, no, same here. Yeah, it's good. I mean, this is like what you want to see,
Oh yeah.
Obviously, it's a challenge, but for the community and just the races, right? Like just watching all the great races we've been on the other side for. It's awesome. It's very entertaining, and obviously, thank you for creating it, but also thanks to SpeedGaming for the restreams, all the comms, trackers. I mean, everyone watching it. It's just a really cool experience.
Absolutely.
All right, we've got some sound activity. Unfortunately, video still seems to be a little bit behind here, so we'll give it a minute to see if we can officially declare the results from both Siscrusher and Potato Pony.
I am looking at the racetime.gg, and Potato Pony has finished with a time of 1 hour, 34 minutes, 16 seconds. I'm not sure if Siscrusher has or not, considering that was a race previously done on an asynchronous race. But Potato Pony has officially finished and has joined us in the chat. Hello, Potato Pony. GG's. How are you doing? Tell us about the seed.
The seed makes me not want to play the game anymore.
Oh no!
Oh.
No, it makes me not want to play. I think I checked all the checkboxes of like shame in Zelda. Getting caught by a wall master. I screen scrolled over to the ladder item at the wrong row. I messed up that screen scroll and went back to the Lost Woods. It was like a parade of hilarity.
I like to think of it as an exhibition of variety. Put a positive spin on it and it sounds great. But GG's, you finished, and that's what's important.
Yeah, there was a, I should give a, oh, what's going on there? I don't know. My thing is going, sorry. I'd like to give a shout out to Lorgan, whose Z Tracker is just a phenomenal program that I've used throughout the tournament and will keep using going forward. But one of the features of the tracker program is it gives you a timeline of when you get triforces and items and other things along the way. And I've got this like giant dead spot from about 15 minutes or so through to like 45 minutes where like practically nothing happened at all before I finally started making some progress.
Yeah, we absolutely saw some linear blocks along the way from the Bow, which was required to beat Goma, but you couldn't get to Goma in level 2 until you had the recorder for Dig Jogger, but you needed the recorder in 6, and then the power bracelet to get to 6, and just this chain of events.
It was fun, and listen, GG's to Fred and to Bogey and to Sis Crusher. It's such an honor to race with these folks, and I guess it's Fred and Bogey. I hope the two of you go far in the rest of the tournament.
Well, thank you for the races. You've been absolutely awesome to play against, and don't put yourself down. You've managed to push through here, and you gave us some really close races on all of these. So I'm looking forward to seeing even more progress for you. Hopefully, you don't really decide to quit.
I'm not going to go away. I need my revenge on the Wall Masters. So.
Exactly. Maybe you can play a different flag set that'll be a little bit more. Give you a little bit of a palate cleanser or something.
So Blackout one-hit KO tournament win.
Jeez.
Liquid husband that better not hear me say that.
That's where those battle royales in our system come into play. If there's enough people who want to do a mini tournament based on flag set, something like that, you're all welcome to. Feel free.
Well, I'll be happy to commentate on those races. I don't know about participate in those races.
Me too.
We gotta join. We have to do a reverse tournament where everyone who's in this one does commentary, and then everyone who did commentary turns around and actually competes in the races. It'll be fine. I see that going very well for everyone involved.
I could see that. That would be good. I would do commentary on that one.
Yeah,
it'd be a lot of fun.
Sign me up for being on the other side of the mic here.
Excellent. All right. Well, again, GG's to the three of you. Again, congratulations to Bogey and Fred for moving on to the next round. Any parting thoughts from any of the racers? Reflections on the tournament so far, or what you're excited to see in the future?
I'd just like to say thank you to everybody who makes the tournament possible. I think it's phenomenal. I know so many people have put so much hard work into it, and as a racer who is liable to get bopped by Wall Masters and have other variety things happen, I think the structure of this tournament was really it was delightful in terms of I got to have a whole bunch of races, and it was a tremendous amount of fun. So thank you to everybody.
Thank you again to you, Pony. Looking forward to seeing more fun action from you in the future. Thank you to Sis Crusher as well, and Bogey. Looking forward to taking you on here in the next round and the pain and suffering that we will ensue as part of it.
Yep, it'll be fun.
All right, Limit, you want to send us off?
Sure. Thank you very much, everyone out there in twitch.tv land, for joining us for this fantastically fun and entertaining race here at SpeedGaming 6. The SpeedGaming community, huge thank you to you for hosting and giving us an opportunity and a place to put these things online and showcase the fun that is Zelda 1 Randomizer. Without you, we wouldn't have a place to do this, and it's really heavily appreciated. Thank you to Camion Renekai for doing all of the tracking for 4 people. Very tough work. And thank you to Threech, obviously, for being here with me and having fun with me.
Obviously.
There is no shortage of Zelda 1 Randomizer to come in the very near future. Keep on the lookout right here on SpeedGaming for all of these races. They are going to be going on as every day, as far as I know, for the next little while. So if you are interested in this sort of thing, hit the follow button for SpeedGaming, follow these individual racers, and follow me and Threech just because we just think you're cool.
I think that's a great idea. There will come a certain time where you will not know a life where you did not see a Z1R race. I promise you.
That's true. Yeah.
Z1R is eternal, and all that we have are the races. But no, follow the Limit Break, follow Cammy and Renikai, follow all of our racers tonight, and thank you, Limit, for doing commentary with me. I'm so glad that we finally got to make this happen.
It's my genuine pleasure. I look forward to doing this again sometime with you.
Absolutely. And thank you again, everyone in the audience, for joining us. Thank you to the Speed Gaming teams, to our trackers, and everyone involved. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes. Everyone stay safe, be kind to each other, and have a great rest of your week.
Yep, love you, everybody. Bye-bye now.